When it comes to the meaning behind video games and other forms of media, is personal interpretation more important than having a full understanding of the intended meaning? Very few times in gaming do I come across a story and setting that isn't easily understandable on the surface and not have the urge to pull back the curtain with a story/world explained video. It's an urge that at this point in my life, I never act out on, because there's so much reward to come from reaching an understanding on something by yourself. And more importantly, it lets you flex those comprehension and imagination muscles in your brain that otherwise wouldn't be activated by a 20-minute video on YouTube that just gives you the answers for free. Now, there's a sound argument to be made that exploring a game's mechanics that you didn't understand can result in you appreciating the game a lot more and the work that went into it. It's an argument I can't refute. But I refuse to be an advocate for taking shortcuts when there's an opportunity to learn and grow as a human being, and also an opportunity to maintain the wonder that comes from not knowing how everything ticks. Now, the last thing a YouTuber should be saying is, hey, don't watch YouTube. But all I'm saying is nothing can come close to the magic captured in your own personal experience with a game, or anything for that matter. The imagination of the human mind is the most powerful thing on this planet. It can transform any medium to something far greater than what the creator imagined themselves. Which brings me to Journey. This game is the rare case where I've never gotten the urge to explore how it was made or the intended story and world implications. I've revisited Journey countless times, not just to chill and see the beauty of it, but because of how many times this game can manage to echo the thoughts going on in my brain, no matter the situation. It's a game where your enjoyment of it will be amplified, if like me you like to reflect on your life so much that there's no life to live outside the reflection. But before I get into all that, I'd like to take you on a journey to what this game is, what I believe is its most important lesson, and what it means to me personally. So without further ado, as the sun rises, let us begin our ascension up this mountain of a game that is Journey. What is Journey? Cringing yet? Journey at its base form is an adventure platformer / walking, flying, sliding simulator that's easy for anyone to pick up and play, regardless if you've ever even played a video game before. It has breathtaking visuals, one of the greatest soundtracks to ever grace a video game, a marvel in environmental storytelling that manages to convey its themes and messages to the player with great ease without uttering a single word, and it's IGN's 2012 Game of the Year. Fantastic choice. So let's dissect some of these things. Like I said, it's incredibly easy for anyone to pick up and play, so long as you know how to move an analog stick and press 2 buttons on the controller. You press circle to interact with things in the environment, and X to jump, or hold it to fly for a short duration of time. Speaking of short duration, this game's completion ranges from 1.5 to 2.5 hours to complete. I heavily advise you to set aside that time to complete this in one sitting to get the most out of this game. And that range won't budge, even despite someone's desperate attempts to suck at video games. You can't die either, so it's the antidote for any non-gamers in your household that like to pretend they're riding a bicycle with no legs once you hand them the controller. Your goal is simple: get to the top of a mountain. Easy enough, right? Although it isn't a climb as easy as walking up a single flight of stairs, this game's camera will constantly reorient you to the direction that you need to go to progress. So even when the next destination isn't in your clear line of sight, it's incredibly rare that you'll ever feel lost. The levels are fairly linear, but are wide enough to ease any feelings of claustrophobia and allow you to explore a little, or take in the breathtaking views while listening to some great music. If you're a fan of Windows XP desert desktop backgrounds, you'll feel right at home. And this game again does such a great job with its camera work that despite which way you approach each level, it's nearly impossible not to get hit with an amazing view at some point. So even when your final destination is far from reach, there's tons of satisfaction to be had before you get there. There's no combat though, so none of that satisfaction comes for those who'd rather solve all their problems with violence. But shame on you if you expect that from a game that in times when you're mid-flight is the equivalent of a magic carpet ride, only you are the carpet. But that doesn't mean it won't get dark and scary, as all journeys do. There are times in this game where you quite possibly might have the absolute shit scared out of you, and I welcome that. On the more gamey side of things, there are glowing symbols to collect, which can increase your flight duration each time you collect them, along with glyphs that can give you insight on what this world is all about. Or if you're a completionist like me, they just serve as another part of the illustrious Platinum Trophy. And I encourage you to grab them all, because like I said, this is only a couple-hour journey, so why not extend it a couple minutes? Also, by collecting all the glowing symbols, you get the fashionable white cloth outfit that allows your jump/flight to constantly recharge. So if you plan on playing this game a second time, because you should, and I'm asking you to, it's well worth to have a little guide up that tells you how many glowing symbols there are in each level. Or if you miss a few the first time and then you pull up the guide for the second playthrough. It's well worth it to make replaying it a breeze, and also be able to pull off that superfly glitch that I suck at. Without spoiling too much in the game or my many interpretations of it, Journey captures the human perception of what it feels like to venture out into the horizon because you see something pretty at the end, and going through the trials and tribulations it takes to get there, while reminding you that those trials and tribulations are all a part of the journey that you will appreciate once you ascend to the top of your metaphorical mountain of omnipotence. And again, without spoiling anything, it showcases how even when you've made it to the top of that mountain, the journey still continues. It's something that this game does so simply, yet so elegantly. It reminds me of times when Pixar movies manage to capture themes of what it means to be a good human being without explicitly shoving the lesson in your face. And once again, this game manages to do these things without the characters or creatures, I don't know what the hell to call them, not uttering a single word. Unlike Pixar movies though, this isn't a game that can make this grown man cry. Although there is a mechanic in this game that when I think hard about it, being a guy who has suffered severe social anxiety and also a judging books by their covers dipshit, as I'm sure we've all been guilty of at some point in our life, this mechanic can make me squeeze out a few tears of joy and sad yet hopeful realization. And what I mean by that is sad for the past and hope for the future. So with that, let's talk about it. We've briefly gone over what this game is as best as I could without giving away too much. Now let's talk about what I feel is the most important message or lesson to get from playing this game. This game has a mechanic that allows you to connect with wayward travelers on the same journey as you. Now what makes this special is it's completely at random. There's no multiplayer screen, no inviting friends to play, no co-op, and you can't even see the player you're currently connected with on the player's met screen, and will only know who you played with after you've completed the journey. You can't talk to people via mic or text message. Your only means of communication is the interact button to let out little chirps and alert the other player. Now the reason why I feel this conveys such an important message is because it showcases the reality of human nature. There's no gender, race, sexual orientation, ideology, religion, politics, thought processes, anxiety, reputation, or any other thing that has zero existential relevance to get in the way of what every human being secretly strives for. And that's connection. It shows us that we as human beings aren't divisive by nature. It's merely the distractions of everyday life and this compulsive urge to classify ourselves and others that are the true culprits behind why every single one of us aren't beacons of joy and love that will forever stand by each other despite our backgrounds, even ones we've previously formed with one another. When I see another player in Journey, I immediately get the urge to grab their attention and stick close to them for as long as I can. And it is possible, if you stick close enough to your companion, you can play through the entire game with them, forming an unknown bond born out of genuine compassion. That's in all of us, at every moment of our lives, even when we're so clouded by bullshit that we refuse to see it. With your companion, you can solve puzzles faster, protect each other from certain danger, and even give each other power through staying close, which keeps the jump button on constant recharge. Which is awesome how the game gives you a variety of incentives to stick close to the player that you stumble upon in your journey. We all long for that close friend that understands us in every way possible, that empowers us in times of great doubt, laughs at our shitty jokes, has similar interests, has our backs no matter what. We all long for that significant other that we can share our most intimate moments with. All of the above things I previously listed provide us with sexual satisfaction, maybe pay our bills if we're a lazy YouTuber that has next to no ambition, but is a great guy and totally worth the investment. But the base of all of that is just unconditional love. That's what everybody wants. And this game delivers that fantastically. If you don't manage to come across a f***ing asshole worthless piece of shit that decides not to follow your lead, stopping every f***ing second for no reason, staring at rocks and having the f***ing audacity to stop and sit at the final f***ing level and never return to playing, leaving you alone. But don't you worry, there's still a chance you'll stumble upon someone who's super into the whole companion aspect of the game and stick with you no matter what. I remember a long time ago I stumbled upon a white coat before I even knew it existed, and the player guided me to every symbol in the game, and I stuck by him/her to the end, and it was f***ing incredible. It was like following the god of the game. But yeah, it's a fantastic message, and if you stumble upon players that are willing to stick by your side throughout the full duration of the journey, it's an unforgettable experience unlike any other in a video game. If you have the balls, take this message out into the real world. Apply it to your life. Go up to a total stranger and show some love and respect. When you do it with true compassion and acceptance, it's very rewarding. Instead of both of you staring awkwardly at each other to the point that your anxiety levels turn the situation into who's gonna shoot first. It's an aspect of my life I'm desperately trying to work on, among many other things. So now let's get into not all but some of those many other things, as I try to cram what this game means to me within a digestible paragraph. As evident by the way of me introducing each topic in epic synced with the music format, I'm a person that likes to over-exaggerate every single thing in my life and turn it into some grand adventure. So naturally, a game that can have me explore that beautiful yet sometimes crippling aspect of my personality within an hour of playtime is gonna be one of my favorite video games of all time. There's just so many ways I can use Journey as a means to echo whatever's going on in my life. And sometimes this game charmingly surprises me by sending me down a train of thought I hadn't even considered boarding. Before I decided to make a video on this game, I thought, why not boot it up? Because I've been having some troubling times lately, in the form of insane anxiety and depression and my whole making things bigger than what they are problem at power level 1000. I spent a week or two ignoring every single chance I had to play it, which is literally all the time, because my anxiety has been so bad that I'm even nervous to start a video game. Partly because that's been an issue with everything else in my life as of late, and also because now that I make YouTube videos, I feel the urge to make a video on whatever I play. That somehow if I play a game and miss the opportunity to make a video about it, I've wasted my potential, and that would make my depression symptoms much worse. So in the days leading up to me finally revisiting this game after a long hiatus, I kept having this thought. Stop acting like the journey to a great video, a positive change in your behavior, an enjoyable conversation with a friend, a girlfriend, a workout at the gym, an expression of love to those closest to you is so far away, and every move you make has to be this gigantic expedition. The destination is already there, man. A better, stronger you is right there. It's inside you all the time. It's literally an inch away at all times, bro. And sure enough, I boot up Journey, hit the continue button, and I'm already at the last level. So the thought process I had prior to booting it up literally smacked me right in the face and echoed exactly what I was thinking. I instantly started laughing, which eventually led to a few tears. Whenever I last played Journey, I had unintentionally set myself up for this moment, and it was fucking beautiful. It immediately reminded me why I hold this game near and dear to my heart, and why I've never tried to make sense of the world and creatures that inhabit it. I used to revisit this game constantly, whether it was a new job, a new diet, a new whatever, or a not-so-new restructuring of my thought process on what would make me a better human being. And while I've done that far too many times and put way too much pressure on myself, it's why I connect with this game so much. And although this is my own personal connection, there's no doubt in my mind that anyone can have a similar experience if they approach it the same way that I do. So to anyone who hasn't played this game, or who has and this video made you interested in giving it another go, I implore you, try and find your own personal connection with it. Whether it's the stunning landscapes, the beautiful soundtrack, the companionship with other players, or just the concept that with every step you take, every new chapter of your story, every day you get to spend on this unbelievable planet, whether you're soaring through the sky with your super-powered scarf, or if you're plunging into the depths of darkness and feel there's no way out. It's all just another part of your ascension up the mountain. I'll see you at the top. If you like this, leave a like, comment, and perhaps subscribe, and I just might make some more.